Hi, I'm Madeline. Today, I'm going to tell you my story. But before I continue, please share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. So there I was, 32 years old, single mom to my amazing 8-year-old daughter Lily, working 2 jobs and barely keeping my head above water. My friend Vanessa had been bugging me for weeks about this guy she wanted to set me up with. Maddie, just one date, she kept saying. He's really nice, has a steady job, and he's not terrible to look at. I finally gave in. Fine, 1 coffee date, that's it. She squealed like we were back in high school. You won't regret it. His name is Jack. He works in finance or something. Finance or something? I laughed. Very specific. He's normal, I swear. Just a regular guy looking for someone real. The day of the date, I was running late after Lily's soccer practice ran over. I rushed into the coffee shop with my hair in a messy bun, wearing jeans and a sweater with a small stain that I hoped wasn't noticeable. Madeline! A voice called from a corner table. I turned to see a guy in worn jeans and a plain blue button-down. Nothing fancy, just casual clothes that somehow still looked good on him. He wasn't movie star handsome, but he had kind eyes and a nice smile. Jack, I asked, approaching the table. He stood up and pulled out a chair for me. That's me. Nice to finally meet you. Sorry I'm late? Kid stuff. No worries. Vanessa mentioned you have a daughter? I nodded, immediately on alert. Some guys run for the hills as soon as they hear single mom. Lily, she's 8 and thinks she runs the world. Jack smiled. Sounds like a cool kid. I'd love to meet her someday. I raised an eyebrow. Bit presumptuous for a first date, isn't it? Fair point, he laughed. Let's see if you can stand me for more than 1 cup of coffee first. That first date turned into 3 hours of conversation. Jack was easy to talk to. He told me he worked in financial services, lived in a modest apartment downtown, and drove a decent car. Everything about him screamed middle-class, regular guy. So what do you do besides work? I asked. I volunteer at an animal shelter on weekends. Nothing fancy, just walking dogs and cleaning cages. Seriously? That's actually really sweet. Don't sound so surprised, he teased. Some men actually aren't terrible. Jury's still out on that one, I replied. Lily's dad had left when I was 7 months pregnant. Trust didn't come easy anymore. Fair enough, Jack said. I'll just have to prove it. And for the next 2 months, he seemed to be doing just that. He was attentive but not clingy, interested in my life without being intrusive, and amazing with Lily when they finally met. I like your boyfriend, Mommy, Lily told me after Jack took us both for ice cream. He doesn't talk to me like I'm stupid. High praise from my discerning daughter. My friend Tara, who worked with me at the restaurant, was skeptical. He seems too good to be true, she said one night while we closed up. Maybe I'm due for some good luck, I responded, wiping down tables. Nobody's this perfect, Maddie. What's his deal? There's gotta be something. Not everyone has a dark secret, Tara. Everyone has something, she insisted. Just be careful. I brushed her off, but part of me wondered the same thing. It seemed impossible that this wonderful man had just fallen into my lap. One night, Jack called me. Are you free tomorrow evening? I'd like to take you somewhere special. I'd have to find a sitter for Lily. Already taken care of. Vanessa said she's free. You called Vanessa before asking me? Just covering bases, he said. So is that a yes? The next evening, Jack picked me up in his usual car, a Honda that was maybe 5 years old. But instead of taking me to our usual spots, he drove us to the marina. Are we going sailing? I asked, confused. Something like that, he said with a smile that suddenly seemed different. We approached a massive yacht where a uniformed man stood at attention. Good evening, Mr. Reynolds, the man said, bowing slightly. I frowned. Jack, what's going on? Who's Mr. Reynolds? Jack took a deep breath. I am Jack Reynolds. Okay, and why is this guy acting like you own the place? Because I do own the place. I own this yacht. My name isn't just Jack. It's Jackson Reynolds. My mouth fell open. Reynolds. As in Reynolds International? The billion-dollar company? That would be my family's company. Yes, I'm the CEO. I stopped walking. You've been lying to me for 2 months? Not lying, he said quickly. Just not telling you everything. I wanted you to know me, the real me, not my bank account. The real you drives a Honda and lives in a modest apartment? I do drive that Honda sometimes, and I do have that apartment, though it's not my primary residence. So what is? He pointed across the bay to a massive house perched on the hillside. That one. You're kidding me. Madeline, please. Nothing's changed. I'm still the same guy. Except you're not, I said, voice rising. The guy I was dating was honest with me. I was honest about everything that matters. That's not how trust works, Jack. Or should I call you Jackson? He sighed. I was going to tell you tonight over dinner. I wanted to explain everything. I stood there, processing. Part of me wanted to walk away, but another part was curious. Fine. Let's have this dinner. You've got one chance to explain. On the yacht, under chandelier lighting, with staff serving us 5-star cuisine, Jackson told me his story. I've been set up with gold diggers my whole life, he explained. Women who researched me before we even met, who had a plan for spending my money before knowing my middle name. So you decided to lie to me instead? I decided to let you get to know me without the complications my wealth brings. Was that so wrong? It was dishonest, I said flatly. Would you have treated me the same if you'd known who I was from the beginning? I wanted to say yes, but truthfully, I didn't know. That doesn't make it right, I finally said. I know, I'm sorry. But now you know, and nothing else has to change. I'm still me. By the end of the night, he'd mostly talked me around. I agreed to keep seeing him, to give him another chance to prove himself. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Jack, I still called him Jack, introduced me to his world bit by bit. Designer clothes, expensive restaurants, his actual penthouse apartment. This is too much, I told him after he suggested flying us to Paris for the weekend. It's nothing to me, he said dismissively. I want to share my life with you. That's when I started noticing changes. Small things at first. He'd make comments about my clothes. We're meeting my business partner tonight. Maybe wear something nicer? Or about Lily. Have you considered a private school? The public school system is so inadequate. One night at a charity gala, I overheard him talking to his friend Marcus. She's coming along nicely, Jack was saying. A few rough edges to smooth out, but the raw material is promising. And the kid? Marcus asked. A complication, but manageable. Boarding school in a few years should solve that problem. My blood ran cold. I slipped away before they saw me, my mind racing. The next day, I called Vanessa. Did you know who he really was when you set us up? I demanded. Maddie, Tell me the truth. She hesitated. Yes, I knew. He's Marcus's boss. They were looking for someone. Real. Someone who might help Jack's image with the board. They think he's too detached, too cold for public relations. So I was what? An image makeover? The struggling single mom who humanizes the billionaire? It wasn't like that. Well, not entirely. He really does like you. As a project, I said bitterly, something to mold and fix. I hung up, furious and heartbroken. That night when Jack called, I didn't answer. The next day, he showed up at my apartment unannounced. Madeline, what's going on? Why aren't you answering my calls? I heard you talking to Marcus, I said coldly, about smoothing out my rough edges, about sending my daughter to boarding school. His face fell. You misunderstood. I was just what? Planning our lives without consulting me? Deciding what's best for my daughter? I want what's best for both of you. No, you want what fits your image and your lifestyle. That's not fair, he said, his voice hardening. After everything I've given you. Given me. I never asked for any of it. Maybe not, but you certainly didn't refuse it either, he snapped. Let's not pretend you haven't enjoyed the perks. And there it was, the real Jack Reynolds coming through at last. Get out, I said quietly. Madeline, I didn't mean... Get out. After he left, I sat down and cried. Then I called Tara. You were right, I told her. Too good to be true. What are you going to do? She asked. I thought about it for a long moment. I'm going to make sure he never does this to anyone else. Over the next few days, Jack kept calling, sending flowers, even showing up at the restaurant where I worked. Just 5 minutes, he begged. Let me explain. There's nothing to explain, I told him. We're done. Don't be dramatic. We can work through this. I laughed bitterly. There is no we anymore. His expression changed, growing cold. You'll regret this, Madeline. Nobody walks away from me. 2 days later, I was fired from the restaurant. The owner wouldn't look me in the eye. I got a call from corporate, he muttered. Budget cuts. I knew exactly what had happened. Jack was sending a message. Tara called me that night. Did you hear? The restaurant was just bought by some subsidiary of Reynolds International. Of course it was, I said, surprisingly calm. He's trying to scare me. It's working on me, Tara admitted. What are you going to do? I'm going to fight back, I said. But I need your help. And maybe Vanessa's too. Vanessa? After what she did? She owes me one, and she has access. It took some convincing, but Vanessa eventually agreed to help. Guilt is a powerful motivator. What do you need? She asked. Information, and an invitation to the Reynolds Foundation Gala next month. Vanessa's eyes widened. That's the biggest social event of the year. Every important person in the city will be there. Exactly. Over the next few weeks, with Vanessa's help and Tara's support, I prepared. I learned everything about Jack's business practices. The underpaid workers, the environmental corners cut, the small businesses crushed when they wouldn't sell to him. And more personally, the string of women before me. All test runs, according to the emails Vanessa forwarded me from Marcus's account. All eventually discarded when they didn't fit the mold. The night of the gala arrived. I'd spent my last savings on a simple but elegant black dress. Nothing flashy, just classic. Are you sure about this? Tara asked as she helped me with my makeup. He could destroy you. Not if I strike first, I said. Not if I make it too public. I walked into that gala with my head high. Jack spotted me immediately, his eyes widening in shock before narrowing in anger. He made his way to me quickly. What are you doing here? He hissed. Enjoying the party, I said sweetly. Vanessa was kind enough to invite me. This is inappropriate. You need to leave. Before or after your speech? I asked innocently. His face paled. What have you done? Nothing yet, but I've prepared some remarks of my own. I thought your guests might be interested in the real Jackson Reynolds. You wouldn't dare. Try me. He grabbed my arm, fingers digging in painfully. You have no idea who you're messing with. Let go of me, I said loudly, causing nearby guests to turn. You're hurting me. He released me instantly, aware of the watching eyes. This isn't over. Actually, it is, came a voice from behind him. We both turned to see an older man watching us with cold eyes. I recognized him from photos. William Reynolds, Jack's father and chairman of the board. Father, Jack said, his voice instantly changing. This isn't what it looks like. It looks like you're threatening a woman in public, William said evenly. Among other things. Other things? Jack repeated. William held up his phone. Miss Chen from HR sent over some interesting emails between you and Marcus Doyle. Something about image rehabilitation and test subjects. I can explain. And Miss Sullivan here, William continued, nodding at me, has been quite forthcoming about your relationship and how you've been using company resources for personal vendettas. Jack's face contorted with rage. You went to my father? I went to the board, I corrected him, with evidence of your misconduct. Your father just happened to be on that board. You're fired, Jackson, William said quietly. Effective immediately. The security team will escort you out and to your apartment to collect your personal belongings. Company assets are frozen pending an audit. You can't do this to me, Jack shouted, drawing even more attention. I built this company into what it is. You've been CEO for 3 years, William said coldly. And in that time, our reputation has suffered and our stock has fallen. The board has been looking for a reason. Thank you for providing several. As security led a protesting Jack away, William turned to me. Miss Sullivan, I apologize for my son's behavior. Rest assured, this matter will be handled internally with the utmost seriousness. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds, I said. But I don't want anything from your company. Nothing? Most people would seek some form of settlement. I'm not most people. I just wanted him to face consequences for once in his life. William studied me with newfound respect. If you ever reconsider your career options, Reynolds International could use someone with your integrity. I smiled. I'll keep that in mind. 6 months later, Jack's spectacular fall from grace was complete. The board investigation uncovered financial improprieties that led to criminal charges. His reputation was in tatters. Last I heard, he was fighting to stay out of prison while living in a much-reduced circumstance. As for me, I took William up on his job offer eventually, but on my terms. I now head the Reynolds Foundation's programs for single parents, with a salary that lets me provide for Lily comfortably. Vanessa apologized 1,000 times and is slowly working her way back into my good graces. Tara got promoted to manager at the restaurant, and Lily still doesn't know the full story, just that sometimes people who seem nice aren't. And standing up for yourself matters more than any amount of money. I see Jack occasionally in the business pages. His trial is upcoming, and no high-priced lawyer can save him from the evidence. He tried to contact me once, with a long email about forgiveness and second chances. I deleted it without reading past the first line. Some people don't deserve second chances. Some people just deserve what's coming to them. So tell me, what would you have done in my shoes? Would you have exposed him publicly or taken the settlement money and disappeared quietly? I'm curious to hear what you would choose when facing someone who thought they were untouchable.